Today we're going to go through probability of single events. So if you can have that as your title and copy down question 1. So in this we have a bag of red and blue marbles, and the probability of choosing a blue marble is 5/9, and the total marbles is 72. So there's two types of questions that we get here. One where they give you the total marbles, and another where they tell you how many there is of one of the colours. Okay, and you're guaranteed to get one of these questions in your GCSE or some variation of it. So question 1, the way you lay it out is you show the examiner whether you're working out the red or blue. So I personally like to just set out a little table, one with red and one with blue. Okay, so let's look at the information we know. Blue marbles is 5/9. So in the blue column, I can put 5/9. The red marble, if we look in terms of fractions, right? If there are 5 of them are blue out of 9, we know the other 4 out of 9 are red because there's only 2 colours. And the question will normally say, work out how many blue marbles there are or work out how many red marbles there are. So we'll just work out both. Now, the way you work that out is if it's out of 72 and the number of red is 4/9, it's 4/9 of 72. And in maths, instead of using the word of is the same as multiply. So you can either do 4 times 72 and then divide by 9, or you can do 72 divided by 9 and then times it by 4. So we don't have bigger numbers. I think it's easier to divide first. So 72 divided by 9 is 8, and then times by 4 is 32. So we know there are 32 red marbles. Now, there's 2 ways we can work out how many blue marbles. We can just look at the total as 72 and take away the red. So 72 minus 32 is 40. So we know there's 40 blue marbles. The other way we can double check this answer, because we always like to check our answer if possible, is to find 5/9 of 72. So let's try that. 72 divided by 9 is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. So tick, we know we got that right. Now, this one here, slightly more tricky, but pretty much the same thing. Bag of white and green sweets. Probability of choosing a green sweet is 4/7. There are 18 white sweets. So we've got white and green this time. So let's make our table again. White and green. I want you to copy these 2 examples into your books. So white. This time they tell you, don't give you a fraction, but they tell you there's 18 white sweets. And then probability of green is 4/7. So here we can put 4/7. So if there's 4 out of 7 that are green, then we know the other 3 out of 7 are white. So the question will say something like, work out the remaining green sweets, or tell me the total number of sweets. Either way, it's done the same. So the way we can do this is, if we know 3/7 is 18 white sweets here, how are we going to work out the total? Well, if we know, if for example there was only 7 sweets in the whole thing, 3 of them will be white, but we know there's actually 18 white sweets. So if we could make this fraction 18 at the top, because you know it is 18 out of something is white. So how could you make 3/7 18? So if I put at the top bottom here, 3/7, we want 18 to be at the top because no 18 is white. So how did we get from here to here? Because we know it's 18 out of something. Well, 3 times 6 makes 18. So with rules of fractions, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do the same to the top. So if you times that by 6, that is 42. So now we know there's 18 white sweets here out of a total of 42. So if the question asks you what's the total, you've got your answer, 42 sweets. But if they ask you how many green sweets, well, you just do 42, take away how many white, 18, what is equal to 24. We can double check that. There's always ways to check it. If we know 4/7 are green out of a total of 42, 42 divided by 7 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. So tick, we know we got it right. Now, what I'd like you to do to finish off is do some questions yourself. So if you could go to Hegarty Maths, and I want you to do 351 on the tasks. And once you completed that, go on to the more difficult questions, 352.